Hello everyone, this is Filipi from the University of São Paulo in Brazil. I'm very glad to be participating on the fifth Planetary Health Annual Meeting. I'm here today to present the work we've been doing to adapt the feed count citizen science protocol to Brazilian reality. We are aware that pollination plays a very important role in planetary health, since about 80% of all crops in the planet depend on pollination service to produce yields according to a report from the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. So collecting data about pollinators' abundance is very important to understand the ecology of pollination and, of course, how the populations behave around the planet, around the world. But collecting a huge amount of data is not a very easy task. So we can count on citizen science approach to collecting data on the field. Citizen science is basically an approach that counts on non-specialist knowledge to collect data for scientific purposes. But in order to citizens to collect data in such a way it can be reused by science, they must follow protocols. And feed count is one of these protocols. Feed count was developed by the pollinators monitoring scheme in the United Kingdom, originally as a paper-based protocol, and later they developed a mobile app to help people to apply the feed count protocol. Feed counts are basically 10 steps protocols that basically require people must set a 50 square centimeters area around the target plant with flowers. And for 10 minutes, they must count all the visitors, all the pollinators that visit that flowers within that area. So the work to adapt this protocol to the Brazilian reality started from choosing the habitats according to the Brazilian biomes. Of course, Brazil is a very large country, so it has many biomes, and we try to cover all these biomes in this list that we have there in the Brazilian version of the app. We had to change also the list of pollinators to be monitored. Of course, the biodiversity in Brazil is very different from that in the United Kingdom. So, for example, here in Brazil, bats and hummingbirds, they play a very important role as pollinators, but they are not pollinators in the United Kingdom. And we also had to change the list of plants to be monitored because, of course, they are also different here in the Brazilian biodiversity. And we translated also all the features, the labels, and the documentations in the app. Here, for example, we see a card describing hoverfly, sorry. Here we have some information about how to identify this organism in nature, for example. We also had to adapt the terms and privacy document to use the app according to the Brazilian legislation. We had recently some legislation approved regarding the data used on the web, so we had to update the terms of privacy document according to this legislation. In July of this year, we released the first version of the Feed Count Brazil app, and along with some materials, supporting materials to help the citizen scientists to apply the protocol. Here, for example, we have a wooden square that helps people to set the 50 square centimeters area around the flowers. And we made a first test with citizen science also in July here in a conference in Brazil. For the future, we hope to team up with high schools and other institutions in Brazil to engage people to apply the feed count protocol in different areas of Brazil. We also published a book in Brazilian Portuguese, a guide to help people to understand better the feed count protocol and to apply it. It's available in Portuguese, but of course, if you want to get to know better the feed count, there are a lot of materials published by the UK Pollinator Monitoring Scheme, also in English. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching.